Welcome back, everybody. It's day 3 of your WildFit journey. I'm so excited to chat with you, check in, see how things are going, answer some of your questions. But before we get started, I wanted to do a little around the room. If you've got your camera on, that would be great. I want to poll everybody and kind of see how things are going. So how is everyone doing with their breathing exercises? Raise your hand if you've done your breathing exercises twice a day on a regular basis. That's pretty good. How about drinking your 6 to 8 glasses of water every day? You drinking your 6 to 8 glasses of water?
Yes.
Awesome. So I'm interested in this internal dialogue and what you guys are discovering from your internal dialogue. So has anyone noticed something about the food that they ate with their internal dialogue? Not so many hands yet. So it takes a little practice. And sometimes now at this point, the conversation gets cut short because all the devil has to say is, well, Eric said you're supposed to eat everything you normally would have. End of conversation, right? And you just eat what you were supposed to. So if you may want to trick yourself a little bit and say, well, if Eric wasn't saying that, then what, right? But I would encourage everybody to slow time down. A lot of times it comes down to we're in such a fast-paced society that we don't take time to slow down and really analyze the food decisions that we're making, why we're making that particular food decision. So an exercise called the 5 whys might be helpful. And this comes from Lean Six Sigma. It's a business practice in manufacturing to get to the root cause. So you just keep asking yourself why. So why did I join the WildFit Challenge? And it might be to improve my health. Why do I want to improve my health? Well, I want to live longer and be there for my kids or family or friends. And then why do I want to do that? And you just keep going deeper and deeper into the whys and identifying this root cause. You may discover that as you get deeper and deeper, it ends up being, I'll post an article about Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. And there's certain fundamental needs that we have to have fulfilled, like having recognition or a loving relationship, either with a partner or with, socially with people hanging out. So you start to uncover, why you had that beer or that glass of wine when you went out with all the friends and things like that. So keep digging into the why. Wake up the food angel and listen very carefully. She or he might be very quiet as this conversation is going right now. So pay attention to that, and we'll start to give the food angel a little more ammunition, because the idea is to learn the sales techniques that the food devil is using. So right now it's placing blame on somebody else, like Ryan said or Eric said, and that's the end of the story. So it'll be interesting when we get to our first buffer zone, how things might change when we take Eric and I out of the picture. Well, I want to go around the room and check in with you guys, see how things are going. Anything you've done with the breathing exercises, the water, what you're noticing with the food that you ate, if you continue to eat everything you should normally, any questions that you might have. So who wants to go first? And if you haven't had an opportunity to do introductions, you can do introductions as well. Anyone want to volunteer? Jose's going to go first. Get you unmuted.
Yeah, so I know it's only been a few days since we first started the challenge, and of course, the breathing, the at least 6 to 8 cups of water a day, and then the dialogue of before, while, and after you're eating. One of the things that I have noticed, and I've been getting hungry around 4 o'clock, when I usually am not hungry until later on in the evening. But at 4 o'clock, it's and it's every day. I'm like, man, it's 4 o'clock and I'm so hungry, and I feel it in the pit of my stomach.
Hmm.
And that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed that kind of has changed in these past few days. Um, Also, the food that I've eaten. I know I did eat pizza yesterday.
Okay.
I
How
did.
was it?
It was good at first. Yeah, it was really good. I had plans to get home, have dinner, and then do some cleaning in the back, and I didn't. I didn't clean. I sat down and got a little tired after I ate, or felt
Yeah.
tired, and then just stayed inside.
Kind of an energy suck, isn't it? It just kind of like.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I didn't realize it, but like because I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, I feel like this not because I had a long day of work, more so because I got here with intent of actually working, like, doing some work outside. But it was until after I had eaten that I was like, maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Okay. So it's great that you're starting to notice that already, and starting to make those connections. That's what this is all about. Before, we didn't always notice these patterns where the food was related to how we feel, and our body is communicating with us exactly what it wants and what it doesn't want.
Yeah,
And now you're starting to make those connections and realize how food makes us feel.
yeah.
Awesome. Anything else? What else have you been eating? Pizza was a good one.
Well, for instance, today I had a stir fry with cauliflower rice and wheat noodles.
Okay.
Um, my girlfriend, she isn't in the challenge, but she has been starting several months back, starting to make healthier meals. So I had that today for dinner, and I feel good right now. I could go outside and clean.
Okay. That's good. You noticed a difference, so that's great.
Yeah, definitely did. Yeah, definitely.
So would you say you're eating normally everything you normally would have eaten?
Yeah. The Yeah, pretty much. There not much has really changed because we've already had this regimen of eating like healthier foods, for the past several months. So it's not an everyday thing. It's like, we have time and stuff like that, but we would like to make it into an everyday thing, of course.
Hmm. So the only thing, Eric and I encourage you guys, if there's something that you're giving up with willpower, and I've heard some clients say, well, I'm doing so great. I haven't had a Diet Coke in like a year and a half. And I asked them, do you still want a Diet Coke? Is it, calling your name and you can't
Yeah.
wait to have one, and you're doing everything you can not to have it? Now would probably be a time to bring it back,
Yeah.
and to really listen to your body, and analyze the food decision in having it and why you want it. Really asking yourselves those 5 whys we just talked about to get down to the root cause, and then make that connection with what makes your body feel.
Yeah.
So if there is anything out there, Jose, you want to do a brief introduction? We got to meet the rest of your family and see what they're all about.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. My name's Jose Gonzalez. I'm 28 years, no, 20, 29 years old. I just turned 29 a week or so ago.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. My brother was the one that initially introduced this to me. He actually gave it to me as a birthday present.
Awesome.
So, we had always been talking about, like we shouldn't feel like the way we do, I just don't want to feel like ugh all the time. So when he discovered this, he really saw it as an opportunity for himself, and then well, I'm sure what better way to help himself out than have other people around him doing the same thing. But
Hmm.
I was really intrigued in like the the ideology behind this whole thing, because I have tried diets, or trying to change the way I eat. I have stopped eating things, not necessarily stopped craving them, but I've
Mhm.
stopped eating them, and I have lost weight. But at the end of the day, um, I, for whatever reason, I always seem to gain back the weight and feel just as bad, or maybe sometimes worse than when I first started trying to lose the weight.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I'm really glad I'm in this. Hopefully, well, no, I will definitely. I've been noticing different little subtle differences these past few days. So within the next few months, I'm sure I'll see a big difference.
You got it. Lots of learning. So glad to have you here. And it's like I was saying earlier, you've got plenty of support. So
Yeah,
it is called the challenge for a reason. So
yeah,
it'll get interesting.
yeah. I couldn't imagine. I can only imagine.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely transform and create a new lifestyle, because we talked about the word diet before and how it's not some temporary fix. And we're creating a great foundation this week in starting to dig into that internal dialogue and identify what's going on. Everything else going well with your breathing exercises and your water?
Yeah, yeah. The water, these hot days have really helped. With the water part of it. In the mornings, early before work, I do the breathing exercise, and usually soon right after work. Um, it's easier to remember. Hey, I'm at work. I have to do my breathing exercises. I'm
Yeah.
going to work. I'm going to do my breathing exercises. So, you don't get lost in the hustle and bustle of the day and like, oh man, I didn't do it. But it's only a few minutes regardless. But yeah, no, that definitely. I had actually brought that up to my brother actually a few years ago, because a friend of ours, she was losing a lot of weight, and she said that one of the things that they first told her to um, is to breathe
Yep.
right, and we always kind of thought of it as a little bit of a joke, because like, what do you mean breathe right? I breathe literally to stay alive,
Mhm.
so but yeah, now he sees it, I see it, and it's good.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Jose. If you have anything else, don't hesitate to reach out or post some things in the Facebook group.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Who would like to go next? Tim, I saw your hand.
Let me be the bad example for the group, make everybody else feel good. I didn't even know how to get logged in here. I was pretty sure I had a link for this on my calendar, and I didn't. So I had a calendar alert, but no link. I desperately diving around trying to find a link to get in here. I watched, I think, half of the first 8-minute video with Eric.
Mhm.
So I don't know about breathing. I just learned about breathing and water, listening to you guys. I've tried for maybe 4 years now to do things. I've got cholesterol problems, and the doctor wanted to put me on cholesterol meds, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to take care of it. And I found, I tried just doing the standard American diet thing for, I don't know, I think it was a year's worth, and had bad cholesterol results 2 times in a row. And I just stopped, and I'm like, well, this is not working. This approach is wrong. And I found the ketogenic diets.
Yeah.
And I actually got on that. I did good with that for a while, but it was really because I had this horrible job, and like I'd sit at my computer for hours, and I couldn't get up. I couldn't even go to the bathroom, kind of a thing. And I lost a lot of weight, and my cholesterol was awesome. And I just couldn't keep that up. I couldn't avoid the carbs to keep it going. So I kind of gave up after, I'd say about 6 months ago, 12 months ago, I started just reducing carbs, just purposely not eating as much. And when I went and had my cholesterol tested the last time, the doctor's like, okay, so we got you on meds. She's like, oh, you're not on meds. You had a good test, and then you had a bad test, and now you have a good test. What'd you do? And I told her I reduced carbs, and she's like, oh my gosh, she doesn't know anybody else that's ever modified their cholesterol with diet. She doesn't try, you know?
Yeah.
So I want to have that work more automatic, and it just doesn't seem like you get education anywhere else. You know, if you want to go get education, who's teaching you? Somebody that's selling you something, and do they know anything really? You know, even doctors, you know, well, how much do they know? If they haven't studied it, they don't. So that was a big draw for me for this, to actually get a lot of the background. And I've definitely got some addictions to things like procrastinating and alcohol, and that's really about it. I mean, the food wise, there's things I might miss as we pull them out, but I get the idea that we're going cyclic anyway. So you do some stuff for 6 weeks and you do something different for 6 weeks. So it doesn't hurt that much. I have definitely been noticing for at least the last month, I've been noticing urges I've had at times for different things. So without the program even, I was already sort of trying to notice that stuff. I never notice people always talk about taking supplements and they feel a difference, or different foods they eat. I don't feel that stuff at all. I don't notice. It doesn't matter if I'm drinking coffee at 3 a.m, going to bed at 3:10 in the morning. I just don't notice that stuff at all. So if the symptoms, if the signals, if the whispers are there, I don't hear them at all. So
we'll see what we can do to make those things louder. And as we go, like tomorrow, we're going to dig into hungers and why we have these various hungers, cravings, name it. So getting some more background around that and understanding the why might start to also actions for you. So you can relate things together. But you got your WildFit sign on, right? You said you watched a short portion of the video.
I clicked play on the first one and watched, I think 4 minutes.
Okay. That reminds me that I just wanted to make sure everybody got their email from WildFit headquarters and they were able to log on. It also reminds me a little bit about your guys' homework. If you haven't already, please make sure that you do your measurements and take some before photos. It's always good to look back at those and see the progress that you've made. And then also there's a questionnaire on the WildFit headquarters website so that you can put in there more detail as to why you're doing the program, and that will be I can actually take a look at it if you like and be able to tailor things a little bit better for you. Awesome. Any other questions? Think you'll be able to get caught up on some of those videos?
Yeah, I've got a pretty open day today, so hopefully I'll do. I'm not good at time management, but I've got a plenty of time to play with the things I got to do today.
So this week, Monday through Friday, there's a daily video from Eric, and the first video, day one, is the longest. It's almost close to an hour. So if you want to speed it up and put it on, playback speed, double the speed, it may help you from a time management standpoint. Awesome. And then if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to reach out in the Facebook group.
How do I find the Facebook group? That was the thing I was looking around for yesterday. I couldn't find it again. I have to go back to your email, I think, and click.
Yes. I have your email. I'll send you a direct invite as well. I'll email you another direct invite.
Well, I went and I clicked the button to join. I did. Okay.
So you're just saying once you're in the group, in Facebook, you'll have to go to groups, and you should have a list of all of your groups there. Exactly. So if you go,
I clicked more about 10 times and I still didn't find it. So I didn't bookmark it, and I didn't get a notification that I was accepted. So maybe I didn't actually click the apply button. I'll check on that.
Okay. I'll definitely look as well. But yeah, you can hit edit and pin them. I think you can pin 10 groups to the top so that you can manage your most recent ones. Yeah, mine's getting pretty long too. Thanks, Tim. Kim, looks like your hand's up. You want to go next?
Yes. Whoops. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm having issues with everything. I have no problem eating. I don't hear the dialogue. You know, I hear a little bit of it, like I don't even know what I hear. I start to make a choice, like for a bagel or wheat bread that has more fiber, and I'm like, you know what? I just want to eat what is easiest for me to eat, what I enjoy eating, so I eat that. And yesterday I ate a bunch of candy. That was bad. I didn't feel bad about it. I had an ice cream and then I had a whole bag of candy. But I didn't feel bad about doing it, but I fell asleep right after. I think I was in a sugar coma. That was bad. The breathing, I'm doing great. That I can do. The water, I don't know why. I used to drink so much more water, and now I'm having a little bit harder time drinking that much water.
So do you have like cups of water or water bottles or any type of routine?
I have a water bottle. Well, the water bottle that I used to use had flavoring in it. Whoops, my phone's gonna fly off the thing. It had flavoring in it. It's called Circle. Well, so I would drink a lot. It had watermelon flavor, so that was perfect. I could put watermelon in my water, but I got the pH, I don't know what it is. It's like 33 ounces. So I try to drink 2 of those a day. I'm not drinking coffee because I really don't enjoy coffee that much anymore. It has nothing to do with this. I just kind of got over it somehow. But I do have those aminos that I told you about that have quite a bit of caffeine. But if I don't have that in the morning, I don't function. I'll just stay in bed all day, literally. So, yeah. So I don't know. I'm eating things that I normally would eat.
Good.
But I think the first day I ate way more than I normally have eaten. And then the second day I was just like, whoa. And today, what did I eat today? Oh, I had a really crappy morning. I was really bugged and I was like, don't go eat candy in the kitchen. But it had nothing to do with this. It was just, I was going for that. I wouldn't normally have eaten that, but I was so frustrated. I almost ate a bunch of candy. I was like, why are you doing that? That's just stupid. That has nothing to do with anything. So I didn't eat that. And instead, I don't remember what I had. Something that was healthy. Oh, oatmeal. I had like gross oatmeal. That was a dialogue that I had. I was like, should I have the Quaker maple syrup and brown sugar, or should I have the Coach's oatmeal that I can just make and put some walnuts on? I was like, no, I want the maple. So I made that stuff, and it tasted terrible to me. My brain is just like, bleh, I don't know. So I had that, and then I went to California Chicken Cafe and ordered the Chinese chicken salad, which is more or less healthy, I think. I mean, I don't have an issue with eating that. But then I saw how long it was taking them, so I ordered some chicken and pasta salad, which is only a little bit, but yeah. And I don't know, I've never heard of this before, except for at my house. I told you I could eat a bottle of Thousand Island dressing. I could just drink it. Well, they make it with Thousand Island dressing. I've never heard of that. That's disgusting. But I ate it with barbecue sauce. So I don't know. And then I ate strawberry like licorice strings. So this is probably how I normally eat. And I don't feel bad about it at all.
There's more dialogue there than you think. I mean, you're verbalizing it. It may not be in your head. You're just spitting it right out.
Thank you. Yes.
Should I not have this? Is there more fiber in it? Does it taste too sweet? I think, am I frustrated? I think I'll have more candy.
Yes.
That's it. And you're doing the work because you're realizing that I was tired after I had the candy, and you're relating your feelings back to the food that you ate, or the noodles not making you tired. So that's it. You're doing it. And
okay.
From a water perspective, do you think it's just need a reminder, or I mean, there are apps out there that will alarm ring and remind you to drink more?
No. I keep it. It's in my car. It's right by my stick shift. So every time I shift, it's like the bike grab while I drink some. It's a lot of water. I don't know why, but I'm used to flavored water. That's what it is. And so I'm kind of like, this doesn't taste, but I'm trying to get used to it. I'm trying. But I did gain a pound, mister.
Yeah?
Yes.
That's fine. We're not in any weight loss mode. So
You're drinking water. You might have just gained weight on water. Simple as that.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's all the food I ate. I ate a good quantity of food the first 2 days. Yep, I did. I probably ate like 6 meals worth of food. Yeah, I'm a good eater.
Did you check in at the beginning and mark down your weight and everything?
Okay, you didn't look at those pictures, and if you haven't looked at them, don't look at them because you will vomit.
I won't.
I almost did. I was like, Jesus, what the? You'll see my comments. I'm like, yikes, what the hell? Who is that? Oh, it's bad. And I have only bikinis. You're lucky I don't have thongs anymore. I only have bikinis. I was like, oh, I don't want anybody to see these ever. Ooh, so sorry.
Now that you've weighed yourself, maybe you shouldn't weigh yourself anymore and ignore the weight for a while, because weight's probably not the best measurement anyways. Just like Tim said, you're going to fluctuate with water and different things. But a lot of it's hormone related.
Ryan, I'm shooting next Thursday, a week from tomorrow. I have a shoot for television, and it makes you look 10 pounds fatter. I really can't get, because I'll look like a I'm glad you think it's funny.
Kim, what do you do that you're on TV?
I'm an actor, and I also teach acting, and I'm going to be featured on a show with 2 little twins.
Oh, nice. And where are you?
I'm in LA. Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably drop WildFit in there somewhere while I'm shooting the show.
Sounds great.
So yeah, I don't want to gain a bunch of weight before we shoot. I'm not going to change anything, but I'm just going to try and I don't know what I'm not going to try anything. Who am I kidding? But I'll tell you what, that dark chocolate toffee was really good. I'm sorry. This is bad.
For a reason, and you'll learn a lot through the process. So
okay, I will try and drink more water.
You can do it. We'll all help you out. So
thank you.
Thank you. Who's next? Ray?
Hi, everybody. I'm Rhea, and I'm from Vancouver, Canada. And so the last few days have been great. In terms of just breathing, it's interesting because I've been trying to do meditation before this anyway, so the breathing just came even better because it gave me a more opportunity to just be still and just breathe. Water, I've already been drinking, try to up my water anyway before I joined this. And so that wasn't too hard to do. It just made me more conscious of just trying to do it more. The one thing though that I realized doing this is that I often make unconscious food decisions. By the time I think about it, I say, what was I supposed to think about? I already have the food in my mouth. I already ate it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm supposed to think about what I'm feeling before I ate this thing. It's already in my mouth. What am I supposed to think? And so that's what happens a lot. And it's funny because even the dessert, there's something, after I eat, I always say, okay, I have to eat dessert. For whatever reason, I think that. And I think a lot of people think that. I think that's a common thing. But of course, I'm like, oh my gosh, so I'm looking for something. And I realized that if it's in my house, I'm going to eat it. So sometimes I have this thing where I say, I want something little, a small thing, just after dinner, just a little something. And then in my search of that little something, I try all sorts of things, just so that I get that little something. So it's kind of crazy. So, weight has always been an issue with my life. Actually, I lost a lot of weight, and I've kept it off for a very, very long time until I've lost 50 pounds, and I've regained 40 back over the last few years. So this was an opportunity for me to, look again. And I like the idea of doing something that changes permanently, a lifestyle change, instead of just going on a diet. Because after doing Weight Watchers, and I said I'm not going to do that again. I didn't have the motivation to do it again. I tried to do it again. I just couldn't stick to the plan. So for whatever reason, I was unmotivated. Now this comes at a perfect timing anyway, too, because I haven't been feeling well the last few weeks. I don't have the energy to get up in the morning. I get these headaches that's really bad. And so I'm thinking, okay, this comes along, and I'm a big believer that this is not a coincidence. It's time to do something, and to do something seriously. So, yeah, I'm just both relieved that I didn't have to change anything the first week. But it's funny because now it's making me want to eat more, because I feel like, okay, they may ask me to give up things in the future. I better eat these things before they ask me to. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking of the same thing. So yeah, so that's my journey so far. It's interesting, and it's actually lovely to have a group of people to talk about it. So it's great.
So glad you're here.
Yeah.
So you're already digging into kind of the homework, and I don't know if you've noticed, but you're kind of uncovering some of the rules that you have around food.
Yeah.
So have you realize that you have some of these rules around food?
Yes.
So if it's
Now I do.
if it's in the house, you're going to eat it.
Yes.
After the meal, I have to have a dessert, or I have to have a little something.
Yes.
And that little something has to satisfy some type of emotional feeling.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Because if it isn't, I'm going to have another little something.
Yeah, because that's why I'm seeking for something. I'm trying all these things. This is not it. I'm going to go, maybe it's that little orange over there. And, I mean, most of the time it's nice if it's fruit, but sometimes it's not. It's either chocolate or a little pastry. So.
Do you realize what emotion you're trying to satisfy yet by having those little somethings?
I think I'm just trying to comfort myself.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to me. Yeah.
Keep thinking about that, and what's that? Because you're discovering that what you eat is not tied to your emotions, and those little somethings are not necessarily fulfilling that particular emotion. You can change your emotion before you even have the little something. You're completely in control of those emotions. So, sometimes, and Jose, lit up just talking about the pizza that he had. I don't know if you guys know that, but he was like, I had pizza, and he was just like gleaming. Like,
yeah. Absolutely. I feel the same way about pastries, so I'm with you there. Yeah.
Yep. So just in talking about it, or even mentioning it, sometimes we've made that neural pathway, that connection, and that's what will reset through this. We'll start to, once you realize those are there, we can change our habits and our beliefs to something that's going to serve us. And if we don't fire that particular neural pathway anymore, slowly it will fade away, and we'll strengthen the new ones that serve us. So we'll get into rules and meanings here a little bit more, but thanks for joining us. Awesome.
Thank you.
Kim, yeah.
This isn't directly related, but I've had a couple instances in the last 3 months where there was something I was planning on doing, which wasn't the greatest thing to do, but it had been planned, right, for a while. And somebody came along and said, don't do that. And it was kind of interesting because it was the same person both times. And they thought they could just interrupt something I've been planning for a month and interrupt it. And me, I'm like, no, that's the wrong way to do that. I'm going to do this today anyway. We can have that discussion next week or next month. So that's, for me, that was kind of interesting. Some people, I think, can just go, oh, nope, done. And I've got a direction I'm going. It's like, I'm driving a big dump truck. You ain't stopping this thing in 10 seconds. I'm gonna go through that barrier, and we can talk about it next week.
Yep. We create that momentum, that those thoughts that we continually say. So you're like, I have this plan. I can't break this plan. I'm going to fulfill this plan, and it's like a train, just getting more and more momentum. So yeah, if it's not serving you, sometimes just take a break, go to a different subject, or take a nap and forget it, and it'll start to lose its momentum. But you're right on. Awesome. All right, who's next? It's not Karina.
Yeah, no, Karina didn't make it today, so I just used her account. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah, so my name's Esteban. I'm from Colton, California. Jose's my brother. But anyways, what I've noticed this week is on the water part, when I wake up, normally I would just go straight to Starbucks and get a coffee. Now that I've been drinking water and I have a nice cup of water, I found myself not wanting that coffee while I'm driving to work because I'm full of water. So it's almost, yeah, no, and the other day I almost made myself go back just because I'm used to. I've been doing it for like 2 years. Like I always stop, but yeah, and yeah, just like well, in my mind I'm like, well, I don't want coffee because I'm full of water, I guess, or whatever. So that's the big difference in water. Plus, I've noticed drinking 6 to 8 cups or it just keeps me like more like just with more energy. It's weird because before, you know, no one told me to drink water. I'd probably drink 2, 3 cups. Now that I've upped it to 6, 7, 8 cups, mostly 8, because I can, because the water's right there, and I feel like why not, you know? So it just, I feel lighter, you know, it's weird. So that's on the water part. On the breathing, I never stop. I have an auto repair shop. I'm go, go, go. So it gives me like those 2-3 minutes to sit down, and it really feels good. It feels awesome. Just like, all right, I'm gonna breathe. From the 10-12 hour days that I normally have, I never give myself like not even a minute. So that really helps out too, like just to kind of settle me down in the morning and at the end of the day. And then on the thinking about food, that's kind of triggered a lot of things because I'm a thinkative type of guy anyway. So I'm constantly thinking about everything now. And the other day I got home and I was gonna make spaghetti and meatballs, and I thought, all right, cool. And I like cooking, so I was like pretty excited. I had some marinara that I brought from Arizona from this famous place. I was like, it's gonna be great, and it was great while I was cooking it. Made meatballs, everything was great. Finally, then I thought, okay, this is great. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. But hey, eat whatever you want. So still eat the way that I have been eating, and I would normally eat this. You know, this is so I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I ate it, and it was still great. About halfway, so I was still okay. And then about half an hour later, I was just kind of thinking like, man, I feel tired. Same thing, you know, all that spaghetti. And I was like, maybe I should have just ate the meatballs. Maybe I didn't need the spaghetti. And then I'm thinking as I was like making the meatballs, and it was just kind of tripping me out. And I'm like, maybe I should have just ate something totally different that wouldn't make me feel like I have to sit in the couch and just really watch TV because I'm tired, you know? And normally I think I would just eat it, and I would blame the tiredness from my long day. Yes. But now I thought about it, and it was a big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs, and I just related my tiredness straight to the kind of like my brother said, I didn't have no energy to even go outside and do anything. So that's kind of like the difference. It's tripping me out because I'm constantly like, oh God, you know? Yeah. And it's so that's kind of been my first week.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Some great reflection and learnings throughout this. So since both of you have been talking about, you know, pasta and pizza and how these things make you feel. So the common denominator here is grains. And, you know, there's a saying that man cannot survive on bread alone. Unfortunately, there's just no gain from grains. So if you think about evolution and what grains are, they're seeds from this grassy plant, and the seed falls down in the root bed of the parent plant, and the idea is that a bird is going to pick it up and carry it away to a new location so that it can grow. So as evolution's going, the seed wants to survive and pass through the bird's digestive system as quickly as possible so that it can continue to grow. And the first defense that it's developed is this hard covering, this hard shell over the seed. So that kind of protects it from some of the gastric juices of the bird. Well, there's a bunch of other biochemical compounds inside the seed that are causing problems. And the one that most people know is gluten and the inflammation that it causes. And the idea is to inflame the intestines so that the seed passes through faster and it doesn't get digested. So these things are all inside the seed, and it's this constant back and forth battle where the bird's trying to figure out how to digest the seed and the plant's trying to, you know, keep it surviving. So what do humans do? We find these grasses, and really we haven't, been eating them for a very long, looking at evolutionary history. If the human species has been around over 200,000 years, we only started farming or having grains in the last 10, 12,000 years maybe. So evolutionary wise, we haven't, developed any need for it. And so what do? We grind up the seed, turn it into this powder called flour, and expose our digestive system to all these defenses all at once. So as soon as you have, grain, a lot of times it's in dough or pasta, it goes into the stomach, and it just like shuts down your digestive system, because the job of the stomach is to liquefy the contents. Well, you've got this big massive dough in there, and it just keeps, kneading it and, trying to dissolve it and turning it into a liquid. So it just backs up everything else. A lot of times when you have grains, you just feel like you got a lump in your stomach, or it sits there heavy and it's not passing through. So then there's, no nutrients from it really. So it's kind of like empty calories that you're just adding to it. So a couple things I guess I should touch on from that. The definition of food. Has anybody ever looked up what the definition of food actually is? So it's supposed to be a nutritional substance that aids a plant or animal in growth or life, and something that's nutritional. So there's not a lot of nutrients in it. I mean, we started farming to have, these grains we could store these grains for a long period of time and be able to transport them around so people wouldn't starve to death. But as far as, nutrients enough to thrive and grow, it's just not there. It's just like bare minimum survival. So that's food. A lot of these things that the food manufacturing companies put out should probably be labeled like food-like substances, because they process them and package them and add in all these other artificial flavors, sweeteners, and things. And I mean, can you really say that that's a nutritional substance that's helping you grow and thrive? So there's more we can chat about the food industry, but just wanted to grow your awareness here around grains and how you're starting to feel this lethargic, lump in your stomach, or how it's stealing your energy. And because realize digestion takes a lot of energy. So you're trying to digest this grain, you're not getting anything from it, but you're devoting all this energy to it. So the energy that you wanted to go clean or work in the backyard is now devoted to trying to process this grain through your digestive system, and you're not getting any benefit from it. So it kind of steals a lot of our energy. And then it goes and gets converted all to sugar. And some of you experienced the sugar high and then the crash afterwards. So I should probably also mention that once it starts to go into the intestines, realize that your intestines is this long tube, like say about 26 feet of 29 feet thereabouts of tubing. And it's all crammed in there, and it's got a bunch of kinks. And if you look at your finger when you bend it, there's a bunch of creases that form in all the bends. So has anyone ever left out, flour when they were baking that on the counter and it got wet and you didn't clean it up right away and it dried? What does it turn into? Like hard plaster, like you have to take a chisel to get it off. So that's basically what it's doing to your intestines. It's hardening your intestines, not allowing them to move and ply. So it also fills in all these little gaps. So it's decreasing your absorption of the nutrients and stuff for your body. Not a lot of benefit there. So just an FYI, but no changes this week. You have to make sure that you keep eating your grains and get the lethargic feeling and realize what's going on through all of this. So I just wanted to expand upon that a little bit since it was brought up a few times. I think we've got, who's next? Veronica, you want to go? Did you freeze up? There you go.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So Monday and Tuesday went extremely well. I had all my water. I did the breathing morning, evening. I even did it a third time during the day.
Good.
But today was a challenging day for me. I ended up having chocolate. I went to Walmart and bought one of those big bars of chocolate. I had about 5 cookies. I don't know, and I'm extremely tired today too. I had a salad from Wendy's, and after I just felt sick. So I'm just not having a good day today.
So you weren't feeling well, and that's why you decided to have the chocolate? And
Yeah. I thought it was because of the withdrawal from chocolate, because I was used to having it on a daily basis. So.
Well, if you normally have chocolate on a daily basis, you should continue having it on a daily basis.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't change anything.
Right.
Eric's gonna have to come to your door and yell at you. And you're noticing, kind of how you feel after you have the chocolate?
Yeah, extremely tired.
Mm-hmm. How that cycle kind of, what happens from an insulin standpoint. So when you have sugar, this refined sugar in the chocolates, very sweet, the liver can't process all of that sugar at once. So the blood level of sugar goes up, and in an effort to maintain our blood sugar levels, the pancreas spits out a bunch of insulin to help drive the sugar into the tissues, into the muscles, so it's not circulating around in the blood so high. And so the insulin and sugar levels are increasing, and then the sugar levels finally tail off after it's all absorbed, and the insulin kind of paces the sugar, and then that's when you have this craving to have more, or
Right.
If you don't have more, then you kind of crash and get this lethargic feeling like I'm tired now, and I don't know what I'm going to do with all that I'm so tired from having the chocolate. So I should obviously the food industry is doing a great job marketing all of these things, and how they tons of money from a marketing standpoint to tie different emotions to things. So a lot of times you see the candy bar commercials and things like that, and it's all great and happy, and everyone's excited about whatever the event is, because the food manufacturing industry has basically created a bunch of holidays related around candy and food and all these things. So coming up here, it starts with Halloween, and you got to have all the trick-or-treat candy and everything for Halloween. And then it goes to Thanksgiving, and there's a bunch of sweets and stuff related to Thanksgiving. And then it goes into Christmas, and you got to have candy canes for Christmas. So, and I wanted to share with you guys how this relates to flu season and getting sick. See, your body only has the certain amount of energy that's available, and it's got to prioritize certain organs. So if it has this energy, it's got to send energy to the brain. We're not letting the brain down. We got to make sure the heart keeps pumping. So we're not going to take any energy away from that. We got to make sure you breathe. So the lungs need energy, the diaphragm, and then it goes like liver, kidneys, all these things need to continue to function. Well, there's some organ systems that may not necessarily have to have the energy all the time. So for women, it's the reproductive system. You don't always need to have a full amount of energy. So if you didn't have energy, it probably wouldn't be the best time to reproduce and have children. So we'll take energy away from that, and that's when women go through their menstrual cycle, and they may have emotional highs and lows and cramping and all upset. That's because we're taking energy away from that system, because of the roller coaster effect of the blood sugar. As soon as the sugar dips, it's going to take energy from someplace. Well, it also takes energy from the immune system. We got to keep the other organ systems going in order to survive. Well, we can steal some energy from the immune system. So every time you have the sugar and get the crash and you don't have any energy, it takes energy from the immune system and exposes you to things that you're around. So this Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's roller coaster of sugar leads to a bunch of exposures where our immune system has, been shut off numerous times, and that's what leads to all the illness and stuff during the winter season or the flu season, and it just turns into this vicious cycle. So we'll talk a little bit more about how the food industry and pharma and everything, continue to capitalize on this. But we mentioned it before, the food industry is not out for your health. They're definitely, a business that's trying to earn more money.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions so far? Well, thanks for sharing, Veronica.
No problem.
Keep enjoying your chocolate. You have to have your chocolate.
I will tomorrow, I promise.
Good. You should take a picture of it and post it for everybody in
Okay.
Facebook.
I will.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's next? Shilpi, are you there? I don't know if Shilpi heard us. Shilpi, you want to check in and see how things have gone this week? Well, Kavita said that she's not in a... You want to go ahead, Kavita? Are you in a location now where you can get? I was just looking at your chat message.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me, Ryan?
Yes.
Great. So about the water, I've been doing this. We've been doing this for a while now. Been having a lot of water. As soon as I wake up, I have a glass of. Not even a glass, a whole bottle of water.
Good.
That's been really good for us. We've been doing this for a long time. So as soon as I wake up in the first half hour, I drink a lot of water. Almost a whole bottle of water. And during the day, yes, we still do drink water, but most of it is in the first part of the morning. That's what we do, and that works well. About the breathing, well, I've done it, but not. I need to probably set reminders to do it regularly, because last night I don't think I did it because I didn't set a reminder. But yes, when I do the breathing exercise, it works very well. I feel very good. I can see clearly. Many times my vision improves also after I breathe, because sometimes I close my eyes. So that really helps, but I've not been doing it regularly. And about the inner voice, the internal dialogue. So I have been on this health, food diet for a long time now. I'm off wheat for a long time. Off dessert, I have a sweet tooth. I'm off dessert for a long time, but I crave for chocolate and dessert and ice cream. I crave for it, and I've been using my willpower, will not power, more than willpower to stay away from it. But then since I have heard this video, I now went for it. Last night I had dessert, but I somehow crave for something sweet after every meal. And I have not had them, the sweets, the desserts, but I still did it last night. So my inner voice goes like, yeah, like some of the times I say, well, I've been on health diet. I've not been eating all of these for a long time, so I think I deserve it. Let me have it, and one or two times will not make any difference. So I go for it. This is what happens in my head. And sometimes when I do have indulge and I eat a lot, I feel, oh God, I shouldn't have done that. I feel a little guilty. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So did I cover everything? Yes, that's a bit about the three things that we needed to do. But I still have a question about some of the things that you said about grains and all that. Should I ask that now? Or?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I've known about grains is that it has a lot of nutrients, because we see that grains do give us a little bit of calcium, like flax seeds. People recommend flax seeds, and it has a lot of fiber. Millets, I have a lot of millet. Rice is something which is very staple here in India, so we eat a lot of rice. Of course, wheat, because of gluten, I've heard that I'm off wheat, and it really helped me a lot. Off wheat, gluten, but rice is something that I'm eating, and millets. So I had a lot of flax seeds. So what I've heard is that it is recommended. It has a lot of fiber. It has a lot of minerals, mm, iron, and all that. So, I mean, you said grains we can't digest, which is a good logic that I bought into. But can you explain a little more?
Sure. So a little bit difference between grains and seeds. So like flax seeds and chia seeds and things like that, I would put into a different category. When I'm talking about grains, it's most of the grassy grains and things like that we farm now from a farming perspective. So a lot of corn, the wheat, the soybeans, the things that we turn into flour and bake with and make cereals and pastas and breads and different things like that. So you're right from a flaxseed standpoint. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids and great for brain and things like that. There's very little gain from an actual grain. So yes, there's a tiny amount of calcium or iron in them, but compared to a plant like spinach, is the idea that I want to get into you is food is supposed to be a nutritional substance, and we want to get the most nutritious substances that we can. Our body does have requirements from a nutritional standpoint, and we need to meet those requirements. So filling up on things that don't have a lot of gain aren't fulfilling our needs that we need throughout the day. So switching from like rice to cauliflower rice would have more benefit and more nutrient dense. I guess is what I should say from a nutrition standpoint. You want real nutrient dense food. So we'll get more into that. We'll definitely continue to expand upon that. I just wanted to, and I could share another story about the restaurant industry. There's just like the food industry, the restaurants are out to make money, right? So why would they give you free bread when you sit down to eat at the restaurant? So the reason they're doing that is to, like I said, shut down your digestive system and then in turn start to spike your insulin so that you crave more. But when it's shutting down your digestive system, your stomach is designed to expand and just keep expanding. So if we have bread first and kind of like keep the contents from leaving the stomach, the intestine is never going to get any signal that we got good nutrients here. Basically, it's looking at what's coming from the stomach, and there's no nutrients here. Keep eating. No nutrients. Keep eating. I see that you're eating, but we still don't have any nutrients. Keep going. So your stomach just keeps expanding and expanding. So the restaurant industry knows if we give you free bread to begin with, you're more likely to eat all of your food and also order dessert because of the sugar spike and then the crash. So you want more sugar. So it's basically another sales technique in order to make it, sell from a restaurant perspective. Kavita?
All right, got that.
Cool.
Yeah, so about the rice, you said there is a substitute for rice. What was that? Did you say instead of rice, you said something else?
Oh, cauliflower rice. But at this point, you're supposed to continue to have rice. We'll keep eating like you normally would. Rice is actually one of those that's kind of WildFit neutral. Yes, it's help. There's no real benefit. There's no real, problem there. So it might be something that you would want to have on an occasional basis. It's not something that, I talked about nutrient density. You want to make sure that you're getting all your nutrients and not just filling up on rice.
All right, got that.
Cool. Shilpi, you want to go next?
Sure. So in terms of the water, I've been having a lot more. The summer and the heat in California here is helping. I used to, before when I was actively trying to have more water, I would just pick like 2 times or 3 times in the day and just kind of like take down 2 or 3 glasses just to kind of have it. But I've been keeping a bottle around and sipping it more than before. I've been doing okay with the water. The breathing I've been doing too. I'd like to actually do it more because it really helps, but I've been doing it a couple of times. Actually, going back to the water, I had a question. So what I do sometimes intermittently is like I'll get up and have a glass of water or 2 in the morning, and then instead of having like tea or chai in the morning, I had been taking like a warm cup of water with lemon and apple cider vinegar and a dash of cayenne pepper. How does that work into like, is that kosher, or how does that work into my water plan?
Infusing the water with some lemon is great. It actually helps to alkalinize your body. And if I know people were talking about flavored water earlier, if you want to infuse your water with cucumber or things like that, but lemon is great. Adding in some
Is warm water with lemon okay?
Warm is fine. You can heat it up as well. Not a problem. Vinegar, I know vinegar is getting a lot of, claim to all the health benefits. The only thing with liver, it affects your liver. The only thing with apple cider vinegar is, vinegars are used to like pickle things and make, pickles and pickle vegetables. Well, if consuming a lot of vinegar, your liver has to process all that. So, adding a bunch of vinegar to like every day on a daily basis, I think is just going to lead to pickling of your liver. And your liver is going to be tired of processing all that all the time. So one of the things first thing in the morning, I wouldn't, if you need some vinegar to eat more vegetables, like if it's in like a salad dressing or something like that, use it as a condiment to eat more of the good stuff. I probably wouldn't introduce it first thing in the morning as your liver is trying to clean house and, flush things out and go through its process first thing in the morning.
So those claims on apple cider vinegar of it clearing the gut and like, in warm water, is WildFit not approved?
This is more Ryan talking from research that I've done from a WildFit standpoint. Just think as a hunter-gatherer, we wouldn't have had a lot of vinegars, I guess is probably the short answer.
Okay. Because I'm not doing it for taste. I just have heard the benefits, and so I was doing it. So just stick to the lemon and a little bit.
I would. Okay. Cayenne pepper if you want, sure.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Shilpi. Deanne, are you still there?
I am here. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes.
Now you can see me. I'm in a tractor.
Ah.
So I'm headed to work. Hold on. Maybe that's better. Okay. I'll make it brief so you don't have to hear the background stuff. Water is getting better. Depending on I'm kind of away from being able to get water. So I bring enough with me every day. Whether or not it all gets consumed kind of depends on what's going on. I think for the most part, I'm pretty close. Some days I'm over, some days I'm under. The one thing I have noticed with the hungers is I think a lot of my hunger comes from being dehydrated. And that's just because I think because I'm out here and I'm physical all day long, I certainly am not getting enough water. In terms of my dialogue about food, my angel and my devil do not fight at all. I just eat whatever I want, whenever I want. I don't seem to have much conversation about that. However, the one thing I have noticed is the guilt. So I know it's going to taste good. When I'm eating it, it tastes good. I become unconscious about halfway through it. And then when it's over, I'm like, oh crap, what did I just do? So I think that's my bigger part of the problem is then the guilt. And of course, I know I don't feel good about it later because my stomach hurts, I'm lethargic. I mean, I have all those same things too. So when it comes to that, I guess maybe I need my devil and my angel to argue a little bit more because they don't argue at all. So the devil just wins every time. The breathing, I love the breathing. I find that I do it for sure in the morning and at night, a couple of times during the day. Every time I think about it, I do it because it just kind of recenters me, re-relaxes me. And like right now, I just have a lot of time to do it because I'm just driving around anyway. So just breathe while I'm driving. So that's kind of what's happening here.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. Sounds like you're doing everything you should. So you'll gain more ammunition for the food angel as things go, as you just remind yourself that, yeah, I don't feel very good when I eat this, and I don't really want to feel that way. I had some other things I wanted to do, and the angel's going to start to remember more and more of what's going on here. So it'll probably continue to grow. So thanks for sharing. Well, guys, I know we went a little over time, but we had some other people join us and did some introductions. One of the things tonight was looking at meanings and rules and why we're eating the things that we're eating. And when Rhea was talking, we were talking a little bit about some rules that we've put in place. So we can touch on this more tomorrow. We're going to meet again at 9. So think about these rules that you have. It may be that, like Rhea was saying, I have to have something afterwards, or something sweet. If it's in the house, you're going to eat it. Sometimes for me was, if it's free, I need to have it, or if it's on sale, I should probably buy. Eating at a certain time every day. My mom had to have dinner at 5 o'clock all the time. Didn't matter if we were hungry or not. 5 o'clock was dinner time. So there's different things like that I want you to think about, and really look at the meanings and rules that you have around food. And there's a special occasion for anything nowadays, right? So we have a birthday, an anniversary, a work event, a meeting, all these special occasions. And with these special occasions come different meanings and things as well. So we can create a special occasion out of anything. So if you want, let's create another party tomorrow and bring a treat, and we'll treat ourselves. So we'll create a WildFit party, and it's another special occasion. So bring a treat, and we'll celebrate tomorrow, day 4 of the WildFit journey, and we'll discuss some more about the hungers, because tomorrow during the video you'll hear about the hungers. So got some new rules that are in place. So we're starting to do this, and you don't even realize it. First one is never go hungry. So as we learn about these hungers, you'll be able to start to satisfy them. One of them is thirst. And we confuse exactly what Deanne was saying. We kind of confuse thirst with hunger, and realize we got a lot of our water through the foods that we ate. So now that we're eating these things that are devoid of water, we're actually thirsty, and the body's sending a signal to eat more, because that's the way we used to get water. So stay hydrated is the other rule. So never go hungry and stay hydrated would be 2 new things that will help to serve you. And we'll talk more about how we should eliminate the hungers as we go through these first few days. So thanks for joining me tonight. If you have any questions, yeah, Tim.
Quick question, Ryan. When I was back in the States, I picked up one of those body whatever scales, so I've got BMI and body fat and actually hydration, which I haven't paid attention to, but I know I'm better now than I used to be.
Yeah.
Do you like those? I like the numbers.
It's good for an overall trend. As far as accuracy goes, yeah, I can fluctuate, 5% from morning to night. So
some people can drive themselves crazy with numbers, yeah. But I'd like to be able to look at my graph over 6 months and go, oh, that I was probably doing better on my cholesterol when my weight was lower.
So look at more of a long-term trend, yeah, and you can kind of see where things are going. You got it. I have one as well. Any ways I can collect more data, but experiment on myself. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Have a great week. I'll see you tomorrow, actually. It'll be 9 o'clock tomorrow, so a little bit earlier. 9 p.m. Central, or 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.
Ciao now.